Hey Hearties, it's your girl Bryn here. Thanks for tuning in to my channel, Mo's Amaze Baby. And please don't forget, if you like my vibe, like and subscribe. Okay, this is a Sunday evening, and I'm gonna try and fix me a nice dinner today. And I have some Cornish hens that I have washed and cleaned with some vinegar. I let them sit for like 5 minutes, and then I cleaned out the inside. So yeah, today I want to tell you, and I have some garlic herb butter that I'm going to put on my chicken. Now, you can actually make it from scratch, but I found out that even when I made it from scratch, it did not taste as good as the Land O'Lakes. I can honestly tell you that. So I'm just gonna slather it all on the backside of my little Cornish hen. And I have a spoon here so I don't contaminate the butter, and I could use it again if I needed to. And okay, now I'm gonna do the outside of the other one. I'm being very generous with the butter. Make sure you rub it in really good. But make sure your chicken is really dry, because if it's not dry, then it's not gonna brown for you. And we want to get that nice brown crust on it. So I'm gonna just dab it off a little bit more here. And so yeah, today I was gonna talk about my little niece Legacy. Legacy is the oldest daughter of my sister Rosemary. Unfortunately, Rosemary was the first one of my siblings that passed away. And she had some challenges in her life, unfortunately. And she had got addicted to drugs, and she had asked me to help her be a sponsor for her, which I consider that a privilege to help her, with that. And she did really well, and she was off the drugs for a while. And then, unfortunately, when our mom passed away, she got back on drugs. And at this time, I was working like 2 or 3 jobs, and I was my second full-time job was part-time. It was cleaning the bank at night. And on Friday nights, I would stop by her house, and when I would stop by, I would notice that she wouldn't be home anymore. The kids would be there by themselves. And I would say to them, listen, call me when your mom gets home. If she's not here in half an hour, I'm going to come and get you guys. And so I would make sure they would call me and let me know if she was there or not. And if she wasn't, I would go and pick them up. She had 5 children at this time. And I'm a single mother of 4. So then the one day, of course, I went over and she wasn't home, and then I went and picked them up, and then she called and said, do you have the kids? I said, no, I don't. So I actually gave her an ultimatum that night when I brought the kids back to her. I said, either you go and get help, or I'm going to take the kids and you won't have them. And I thank God that she did listen to me. And she checked herself in to a rehab facility, and I was able to help her with her kids. And so there I am in that little small apartment, 3-bedroom apartment with 9 children. But we made it work. And so after she passed away, I tried to, get the girls, at least the girls, and had them stay with me, but they would run away, they would leave, and I wouldn't know where they are. And I really couldn't have that because I had my own children that they couldn't run away and do that type of stuff. So I couldn't justify letting her children do that. So I had to make a hard decision and say, I can't keep you guys anymore. And I was hoping that they would come to understand that I was just trying to make it so that they would do better. It wasn't because I didn't love them. I was just trying to show them some tough love. And now Legacy has 6 children of her own. And when I tell you, I am so proud of the woman that she has become. She's a great mother, a great wife, and an awesome provider. She works every day to take care of her children. She actually even had custody of her sister's children for a while, who was dealing with some mental illness. And every time she comes home, her and I cook together. And this little necklace that I wear, this little heart, she has a matching heart to it. And the one day her and I was in here cooking, and she was telling me that the best time that she had in her life as a child was when she lived with me. And during that time, she was such a little girl. I didn't even think she remembered that. And then she said, Aunt Brenda. And then she says, and I said, you remember that? And she says, Aunt Brenda, how could you forget? And I said, well, I didn't forget. I just didn't think that you would remember because you were so young. And she said, that was the best time in my childhood, because unfortunately my sister ended up moving away, and God knows what happened with her and her children when she moved away. It was hard to keep up with her, but nonetheless, this young lady is amazing, and I just thank God every day for the young woman that she has turned out to be. And she credits a lot of that to me. So, and I say that to say this. When you know that somebody's struggling with some kind of habit or addiction or any kind of illness, and that you can help them overcome it, what a blessing that is for you and them. Because and when you are struggling, if you know somebody that's struggling, don't hide it. People can't help you. I can't pray for you, or I can't help you any other way if I don't know that you're struggling. And sometimes I may not see that struggle. So sometimes, you have to be forthcoming and say, hey, you know what? I'm having some issues with my child. This is going on and that's going on. And let's face it, we all have people in our family that are struggling either from mental illness or some type of an addiction. And it doesn't mean that they're bad people. It just means that unfortunately they made some choices in their lives that weren't of the best, and now they can't break away from it. That doesn't mean that we don't love them any less. We treat them any different, But I just like to give a shout out to her and say, I'm very proud of the young lady that you are, and she does very well with her children. So, and I'm looking forward to the next time when you come home so that we can cook together. And she always says, Aunt Brenda, I always learn something else when we cook together. And she actually said she appreciated that tough love that I gave her, and it made her grow up. So what truly a blessing that was. And so right now I've got my chicken already buttered up. I'm gonna throw in some rosemary and thyme. I've got a little bit of lemon in there, And we gonna see what we can do today. We gonna see how good this comes out. Look at that, look at that. And this is what it looks like before I put it in the oven. I'm gonna put it in there covered up for a little while, and then I will uncover it. And see how nice and brown it comes out. So I got this stuffing mix. It's the brioche stuffing mix. I got this from Aldi's, and I'm actually going to mix it with some peppers and onions and celery that I have here to make it taste like it's homemade. I've never had this before, so it's good to try new things and see if you like it. So cut up some celery and half that pepper. So yes, my sister Rosemary, unfortunately, she had passed away. She had got hit by a car when she was walking. And mind you, this was down in Florida. So she had got hit by a car. And because of that, she had started having seizures. And a couple years later, they decided to operate on her to see if they could control the seizures. But unfortunately, it was just the opposite. The seizures got worse. So what ended up happening with her was she went to sleep one night. One thing about my sister Rosemary, she loved to cook too, and she would cook like she would wake up in the middle of the night and decide she wanted a 5-course meal, and she would cook it. I never did that. Not even when I was pregnant did I wake up in the middle of the night and cook big meals like that. But my sisters, they did that. But anyways, she had got up in the middle of the night and she had made some chicken and broccoli, from my understanding, from my little niece that was there with her. And her husband was out working, so he was working out of town at the time. So it was just her and the youngest girl there. And so she said she had got up in the middle of the night and made some chicken and broccoli. And they had just moved into a new place, and they were getting that all straightened out. And the next morning when she woke up, she found her mom unresponsive, and she tried to wake her up with no success, and then she called 911. Unfortunately, 911 had this child, this 13-year-old child, pull her mom on the floor to try to give her CPR. And I think that might be why she's a little scarred to this day. And she blames herself because she said, I was sleeping hard. I tried not to sleep so hard that if I hear her having a seizure, I could wake her up. And I had to explain to her, baby, that's not your fault. You can't blame yourself for that. And but she was just a child. So, but she has some challenges with her mental stability right now, and I want to believe that might be some of the reason why. The other reason why, maybe she's just a touch of a hellraiser, just like my sister was, because my sister was a big hellraiser. Every Friday she would call the cops on her husband. Well, her even before they got married. It was so bad that the one time the cops actually ended up arresting her because they were so tired of her calling them. And they got married on a Saturday. The Friday before they got married, she had to go to the police station to remove the restraining order so that they could get married. Oh, my sister was a character, but I loved her. And her and I look a lot alike, I have to admit. And a lot of times I would see people that she went to school with, and they would say, "Oh my gosh, Rose, girl, you still look so young." And I'm like, "Oh, I'm not Rosemary." And I said, "Oh, you think I'm Rosemary, but I'm not. I'm her younger sister." "Oh, okay, because you look just like her." "Yes, yes, I know. I look just like her." And in fact, there was this gentleman, I can't even think of what his name is at the time. And every time he saw me, he would insist that I was my sister Rosemary. And he'd be like, "Girl, you don't remember me? You don't remember me? We used to go out and party." I'm like, "Sir, I don't know exactly who you are, but I don't know you." And he goes, "Yes, you do. You just don't want to remember me." "No, I really don't know who you are." and I was, in my early 20s, and I'm trying to be out and have a good time, and this man is constantly harassing me in my eyes, talking about some, "You don't know who no, I don't know who you are." And my brother actually ended up getting married, and I had the reception here at my house, and the gentleman actually came here, and when he saw me, he looked at me, and I said to him, "I'm not Rosemary." And he was like, "No, oh no." I said, "No, you have a niece, and I'm her age." And he was like, "Oh." I said, "So you've been confusing me with Rosemary." And that was the first time that gentleman finally got the understanding that I was not Rosemary, and I did not really know who he was after all those years of him. Because now I'm out. At that time, I was in my 30s. And that was just, a funny story about my sister. But man, when she was younger, I admired her so much. I always looked up to her. She had her own apartment, and the way she would dress, and I'm like, "Oh my gosh, I want to be just like her when I grow up." And towards the end of her life, she said those same things about me. But again, I urge people, if they have a family member that is battling any kind of drug addiction, to just try some intervention to get them help. Show them that you love them. Tough love sometimes work. But I've lost several people to drugs, and it's not a good feeling. But like I said before, if we don't know that you're somebody you need help, we can help you. I'm not talking about people that are on the drugs. I'm talking about the people, their other family members, or there are loved ones who might see it where we wouldn't be, because we don't live with them. So I can't help you. I can't even pray for you if I don't know that there's a problem. So we have to be. And things seem like they're getting so much worse. And nowadays with these young kids, and they're doing all kind of drugs and stuff, and then they end up missing, and drug trafficking is real. And if you think it's not, you better start paying attention. I read that book called Half the Sky. I can't remember who wrote it, but it's a very, very good book on trafficking. And I try and tell my granddaughter all the time, be vigilant of your surroundings and know where you are, who you're with, because you can't trust people these days. You really can't. And then they get the girls hooked on drugs, and then they try to control them. It's that internet is a dangerous place. Please pay attention. That was the only reason why I was on social media, so I could see what my grandkids were doing, and I could kind of monitor. And if somebody was talking to them whom I thought was inappropriate, I could say something. But we have to convince our young ladies, and now even the young boys, to be careful who they contact on social media, who they're interacting with. When you go out and you have a drink, pay attention as to who's making your drink, and that nobody else touches it before you get it, so that it's not laced with anything, so that you don't come up missing. It's real. So we just need to pay really, really close attention, because this world we living in, it's not getting any better. So I have some olive oil right here. Cara Powley olive oil. I really like this olive oil. It's very good olive oil. I'm gonna just saute those vegetables. Like I said, I'm gonna try to make this stuffing taste as close to homemade as I can. And so I am going to saute my little vegetables, and I'm going to mix it all up in this pot right here. Let's see if we can. Cook down, I'm going to add a little bit of sea salt, fine sea salt. You know, try to stay away from the iodine salt so much, because this is a lot better for us. It's not as salty. Just a little bit. Cook down for just a little bit. If this is your first time watching me, I was talking earlier about on one of my last videos about how much I enjoy cooking, and I come from a family of people that love to cook, and so I do enjoy it. Although I was very, very tired today because my sleeping is really, really out of sync. But I'm like, no, I'm going to go ahead on and get in here. Once I get started, I'll be okay. And that's always the case. Once you get started, you're going to be okay. I was going to make some cornbread with this, but unfortunately, I didn't have the stuff here to make cornbread, because if you didn't know before, I had been out of town for a while, so my house isn't really stocked up like it should be. So I don't have any cornbread, anything to make cornbread here. So we're going to just have to make do with this little box of dressing right now. So we are going to have to, and then I had boiled a couple eggs to put in it, because you know, I like eggs in my dressing. That's how my mom always made hers, with gizzards, but no gizzards today. I mean, you can even roast up a chicken, tear some chicken up and put it in that dressing. Yum, yum, yum. You know, it's all about what you like, and you create it using things that you like. If you don't like turkey, you can. If you don't like chicken, you can put some turkey in it. Cook down some turkey and add it. You know, this is just a little shortcut from how we would do it at Thanksgiving, you know. So my veggies look like they're all cooked down pretty good. So I am going to add, I had some chicken broth left over, and so I am going to add some of this to make 1.5 cups of broth. It may not be enough, but it calls for water, but I'm just using the broth. And I am going to add a half a cup of water. To that, I am going to add a half a stick of butter. I always like to use unsalted butter. You can always add salt, but you can't take it away. So if something's too salty, you just stuck with it. I don't know a remedy for taking out too much salt. Probably not gonna make a lot, but it'll be enough for us. And I am gonna add a little bit of this cream of chicken soup onto it. Just add a little bit and see how that comes out. I'm probably gonna end up using the whole can of this. Turn my stove off, everything's all melted down. Like, if you don't like egg, you don't have to add egg. I mean, you can just do whatever you like. And that's the fun of cooking. It's making things your own. You don't have to follow a recipe. Just make up it as you go along, because that's exactly what I'm doing today, making this up as I go along. Mix it all up, make sure it's all combined really good. scoop it out in. And I'm gonna bake it in the oven for a little bit. I'll put it in there with those Cornish hens. And I bet you it's gonna come out delicious. Actually made more than I thought it was going to. So now I'm going to cover this up and pop this in the oven and start on my dishes. The last thing for me to do is put my sweet potatoes on so that I can boil my sweet potatoes. And I am going to mash them up today. And I don't know if anybody, else mashes them, but I love them mashed up. I put a little bit of butter, cinnamon, vanilla flavor, just kind of like a sweet potato pie, I guess, with just mashed sweet potatoes. And I don't like, a lot of people make their candy yam so sweet. I don't like a lot of really, really sweet stuff. So these are gonna just be perfect, just like that. If anything, I could put like a tablespoon or two of some brown sugar in them. Not too much, because I want to get that taste of that potato. I love this little thing that I bought. I got it from Marshall's, and it's got to be on it, just like my initials. So, but when we get older, it's hard to hold stuff. But this gives you a nice grip to hold. So if you're out there and you can find it, I don't know what company it is, but it's a very good tool to have because my hands are not what they used to be. So I love watching the Food Network channel. I actually got Discovery Plus on my TV just so that I could get those channels. And Tyler Florence is one of my all-time favorite chefs. He was the first chef that I actually fell in love with. And I still go on there and I watch his Tyler's Ultimate. I've made a lot of those recipes. And I know I'm repeating myself, but in case you haven't seen another one of my episodes, I used to always take my little cookbooks or recipes to work with me. My sister lived with me. I don't know if I remember telling you guys that my sister actually lived with me after my mom passed away, because she had always been home with mom, and she stayed with me, and she helped me with my kids. So during the week, most of the time, she would cook. And then, because she loved to cook too, she was more of a soul food cooker. And on my days off, that's when I would go in the kitchen and cook. And it's got to be checks and balances. It's just because it's your place, there's got to be some give and take to getting along with other people. So it was definitely some give and take in that relationship. I'm not gonna say it was always easy living with her, but we made it work. And oh my gosh, this potato was not the best, so I'm gonna have to pass on that one. But I know my kids, oh my gosh, they had such a hard time when she left, when she passed away, because they were so used to her. She had helped with my grandkids. She had helped me with my kids. So, and she didn't have any kids of her own. So She was actually the family's nanny. She helped take care of so many people's kids, not even just ours, just some of our friends too. She helped with their kids as well. I think she loved kids. And so, but on my 2 days off, I would definitely be in that kitchen cooking. And I really enjoyed it. It was like definitely a pressure release for me. I can be working with my hands and everything. Ooh, not that potato. So this is what we're looking like, and we're gonna go ahead and put those on to boil until they get nice and tender. So my potatoes have softened up. I put half a stick of butter in here, and now I'm just mashing them down with a spoon. And I am going to put just a capful of this vanilla flavor in it. Now I got this vanilla flavor. It's called Butler's Double Strength. I get this from the Amish store, and one day I'm gonna have to take you guys with me to the Amish store. It's very, very good. I love the Amish store. And I'm gonna sprinkle in some cinnamon. And that's all I'm going to do for these potatoes. Like I said, I don't like mine when they're really, really sweet anyways. So I didn't even really need the potato masher to mash it up. And this is what my dressing is looking like here. Let's see if I can turn it around this way a little bit. And that's what my dressing is looking like. And then I will be back in a little bit to show you. Everything when it's all done.
Some medicines only treat the low or high.
So this is my Cornish hens, and look how juicy and brown they are. Oh my gosh, you can see all that juice in the pan, and I've been basting it every 15 or 20 minutes. And I am gonna go take these clothes off, these earrings off, and I'm going to get comfortable. One thing I want you to know is we can make memories anywhere, anytime, just by cooking in the kitchen with your loved ones, like I did with my niece Legacy. And I look forward to her coming back up to visit soon, and spending more time with her. I look forward to making some more memories with my grandchildren in the kitchen, and we can reminisce of old times and make new memories. And that's what it's all about in this next chapter of my life, is enjoying my family, making those new memories. And I'm going to get comfortable and make me a plate and enjoy my supper. So we got the Cornish hen, we got the mashed sweet potatoes, and we have the brioche dressing, stuffing from Aldi's. Time to enjoy. So this is what the final product looks like. I'm all comfortable. I got me a nice little cocktail, and I'm gonna taste this dressing because that's what I wanted to try. Very good. So, very, very good. You know, as always, I'll set a place for you at my table. You're always welcome. And until next time, don't let anybody steal your joy, and let's just live our best life. Peace.